Then we're going to come onto our forearms, again about shoulders width apart, so you can always check that with your elbows. And then we're going to come into forearm plank. So either stay on our knees here as option number 1, or option number 2 is coming up onto the toes. So here, just focusing on the breath. I suppose definitely gets a bit of resilience up, a bit of patience. So just really feeling into the sensations. Okay, and then dropping the hips and coming into Sphinx pose. So noticing how inhales and exhales might have changed rate. And then on our next inhale, we're going to lift the hips either on the knees or on the toes. Perfect. So yeah, you can always mix it up in between, coming in and out. Dropping the hips, come back into Sphinx pose. Okay, if you're ready for one final forearm plank, you're going to lift the hips either on the knees or the toes. And just breathe into it. Okay, dropping those hips down and just relax into Sphinx. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, just finding a nice gentle place for your gaze. Okay, so when you're ready, pressing up onto all fours, we're going to move into frog pose. So what we're going to do is flip the feet so the inner arches are facing flat on the ground, and we're going to move the legs out to the side for as far as is comfortable. Yeah, moving those knees so they're in line with the feet. So we're at about a 90-degree angle. Yeah, perfect. So options here. Option 1, staying up onto the arms, onto the wrists. Option 2 can be to grab a block. Maybe option 1 actually is a bit tough. If you need the mat coming up closer, you can bring the block there. Maybe if you want to use a block, you can bring your forearms on. And final option is bringing the forearms to the mat. This pose is definitely full of lots of sensations. Try not to judge as good as bad, judge good or bad. Just really feeling them, be present in them, and just breathing into it. Feel like the air's going to that hip and thigh area, and just releasing everything. The sensation if it comes up too much, you can always bring the knees in a little bit closer. And when you're ready, coming onto all fours. I'm going to lift the left leg up the left foot onto the outside of the left hand and shuffling that right leg back. Maybe for the right leg you want to also shuffle it out to the right side for lizard pose. So when you're in lizard pose, you've got the options here, same as frog. So here you can have hands up, maybe you want forearms on a block, or maybe you want forearms all the way down to the mat. Just find where is comfortable for you. Today we'll be here for a few breaths. And then just coming back to tabletop position. And then I'm going to be bringing the right foot to the outside of the right hand. And shuffling that left knee back a little, and maybe even out to the left if that's comfortable. So you've got all your options here. It might feel slightly different on this side. So you can be on your hands, you can be on the block, or your forearms can be down on the ground. Just breathing, really feeling into it. One side might be tighter than the other, so this pose is one of those ones you probably feel it in. Okay, then lifting up onto that back toe. What you do is as many steps as it takes, just stepping that left foot up to the outside of the left hand. That's fine, and dropping down into Malasana, yogic squat. So here we've always got options of pressing the elbows into the thighs for a little bit more of a stretch. Maybe a bit of movement feels good, bouncing, shaking or nodding the head. And again, always the option, if it's comfortable, just of closing the eyes off and really just feeling into it. Okay, and then we're just going to drop the bottom all the way down to the ground and bring